and welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you are one of the 50% of the people watching this stream that have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a link to Super Chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and if you would like to join the panel, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click that link to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to transition across to my photos so I can share the show on Facebook, Skype and Twitter. And I would encourage anybody who is in the live audience to please also share the show. I am eternally grateful to all who do so, as it increases the audience, which in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. One last time, if you've not already subscribed, click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate.
While Nathan's sharing his adverts and stuff, I'll jump on and now.
We have been joined already, wow, by Sleeping Warrior. So let's just get his levels up and transition across to Anthony. How are you doing, Anthony?
He's good, man. I missed your show last night because I was in bed. Phone call. Be right back.
No worries. Get you leveled up. I'll do a few shout outs to people who are in the chat while you're doing that. So let's just bring my camera back on. I know, maybe not. There we go. So, Agent Detective, very pleased to have you here. One of the first. Don't know if we can count Anthony Riley as the first, as he was actually on the panel. So there we go. Good to have you here all the same, Agent Detective. Flat World Takeover, hello to you too. Good to have you in the live stream. Very pleased to have you here. Ashley Brown, good to see you as well. John Watson. I think we're rejoined by Anthony now. You missed yesterday's stream, you say?
Yeah, I was in bed last night early because it was a long day yesterday, and I was just catching up with it from this morning. I was literally watching this morning or last night's show this morning, and I obviously got the message that you were on. I'm hoping that Thingy comes in. Is it Make 4?
Make 4,
the guy with the 3 symbols. Because he was really quite good. I enjoy listening to him because he thinks and he's critical. And some of the things he says, he doesn't realize he's saying good points, and he gets lambasted backwards, and he doesn't realize that he's actually got a good point there, and they should discuss it rather than just lambast him backwards and put him back into his peg. Yeah. Sometimes he just needs to stand up a little bit more proud and present his chest a little bit more and say, well, come on, show me what you mean. Give me some evidence. Let me see what you're talking about, rather than just telling me about it.
You turn
particularly
off your
through the shadows.
So we get your icon. I think you're right. Oh. And I was watching his comments in the chat, and from what I could glean, he was just trolling. But I think he's saying he's trolling, or giving grief to the Globers, or however he phrased it. But I think in reality, he's just putting himself in a mindset that gets him very relaxed. He's not there with a contentious hat on. He's there just to troll. Therefore, it's easy. And like you say, in doing so, he did come out with some excellent points.
I mean, one of the best points that the ballers can't explain is why Jupiter doesn't have the phases that our moon does. I mean, they tell us the phases of the moon are caused by the angle of the sun. And it does make sense. It makes logical sense. You can see it's pretty much consistent almost all the time. There are discrepancies with it, but they get argued for reasons. But Jupiter's always lit. Jupiter doesn't have phases, and that's impossible. If we're at an angle to it, almost all the time, we should be seeing a phase to Jupiter almost all of the time. And we don't. It seems to be perfectly lit all the time, despite the angle of the light that it receives from the sun. And when we get perpendicular to it, from the side angle, at least 90 degrees around it, we should see half of Jupiter, and we don't. We always see all of it. So I'm curious as to wonder what the heliocentric explanation for that wanderingness of the light, because unless light's bendy and it bends around stuff, then it can't be explained. Jupiter should have phases.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that every time I've looked into things like this in the past, there is an explanation, and it's a concise one from the heliocentric model. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I bet you anything there's a concise explanation. Anyway, we've been joined by Mate4. How you doing, Mate4? Very pleased to have you here.
Hey, talking about me there. What are you doing?
Yeah, we were. You're a good guest. Gonna get talked about.
Just complimenting you. I was
Thanks,
listening
man.
to you. I was listening to you challenging Paul, and I think that you should stand up a little bit more in some of your topics that you were challenging him on, particularly gravity and the dust. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, geez, my mind. I guess we kind of all just shout, and I do troll a little bit because it's like I don't want to come in there and be like, yeah, I'm flat. I know everything. It's flat. Definitely, huh, guys? Like this is it, because I don't. So I kind of like pretend like, no, I'm just on the fence here, just like listening to both sides. Like, okay, what's going on here? I don't like to jump in deep end.
I come in and I just get them to a point where they start making assertions, and then I let them get away with the first one or two. But by the time they've done 2 or 3, depending on how remote it seems, just pop them out and just say, can you prove it? And the minute you do that, they just change their persona and they either attack back with incredulity or ad hom, or they just start arguing that, well, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not true. Curve does it all the time. And Curve, I've not seen Curve produce any evidence once. Now, he may well have done it, but that doesn't mean I've seen him doing it. So
they're just all so good with the talk, really. It's all about the talk, and like if you can just spin off those things and be like, well, blah, 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 blah. So okay, I got nothing.
I'm looking forward to Soundly as well, because Soundly's done an experiment where, for those that don't know, Paul Straighten, see you in chat. I'd like to see the evidence of the iron core being conductive or electromagnetic at supercritical temperatures. And I'm going to keep asking you for that, Paul, until you get some evidence, because unless you get evidence, you can't prove your assertion to be true. Anyway, I digress. Soundly's done an experiment.
I was thinking about that, and I was sort of thinking that, like, okay, in their model, like the shelves that are higher up and cooling off and more, sorry, not more dense, but like cooling off and solid, those ones could be magnetic. But I kind of, maybe I don't understand why you're sort of arguing, oh, there's a glober getting angry at us. I don't understand what's the point behind what you want to know about this. Like, where would you go with it?
That we live on a ball, and the argument is that the core is an iron core. It's solid, but it's at a temperature of around about 7,000 to 10,000 degrees, depending on where you look. Now, if it's at that temperature, iron it's supercritical at that point. And we know that we can do experiments with other supercritical fluids like helium, and there are other things that can be played with. But the general properties of a superfluid, a superfluid that's supercritical, is that it's neither conductive nor electromagnetic. And the argument is that if we have a magnetic core, which we're supposed to have, which is what gives us our gravity, then that magnetic core, when it's at the temperature it's at, makes that iron, makes it supercritical. And if it's that supercritical, it can't be conductive and it can't be magnetic. So, and the only way that it could be magnetic is if it receives an external source, which when applying the inductive magnetism theory on the Curie temperature. But that doesn't explain the conductivity point. So there's 2 points that it falls apart on that they haven't got the evidence to prove. Now GeoStreber tried to present evidence to support his position with sodium. But the problem with the sodium experiment is it's not at critical point. It's not gone past a critical point. It's just gone past the boiling point. That's a problem. It's not iron. That's a second problem. And it's not under pressure, which is a further problem. So it's a complete misrepresentation pushed to support the narrative that fluids or metals, when they're in the fluid state, become electromagnetic, and they simply don't. When they become supercritical, which is what the iron does, it's neither conductive nor magnetic unless it receives an external force. And they don't want to argue and concede that point because it opens up the possibility of the electromagnetic universe, which is complete bunkum as far as they're concerned, but it's absolutely the explanation if there is a core. It's deep. It's deep stuff.
Angry can't prove this. Like with their theory, it is a big angry boiling core of crap going on down there. Like I find that it's written in a way that most of the things that you try to go down a road and study the theories that are written in those science books are ways of being infinite. which is fair enough because, you know, I mean, the sun is up there burning away for a damn long time now, and I guess infinite is possible, possibly. But
oh,
like,
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt. Miles Davis is in chat. Miles, we had an appointment at 9:30 that was mutually agreed where we were going to discuss the Isle of Man observation. I messaged you at 9:35 asking you where you were because we had a mutually arranged hangout and you've let me down. So don't come back at me saying that I keep bailing on you. I was there, we were ready to go, and you've let me down. So let the record show that on a mutually agreed arrangement and appointment, you were the one that walked. Yeah, we did, Miles. We arranged it yesterday in this chat yesterday.
Before you go back and forth with the chat, I just wanted to get another point that Make 4 made, which again it got kind of sabotaged. But you were at the point where you were talking about what we observe of Saturn through our telescopes, which is something I've done myself, and we even had a really cracking amateur shot put up by Flamingo Boot, which was excellent. But then we transition across to the NASA shots, you know, and they're a world apart. But where's the in-between shots? Where's the, you know, the really high-powered telescope? Because we went straight to Hubble. I think it was Curve Water that went, here's a Hubble picture. It's like, well, there is an in-between, isn't there, between those two things? Where are those shots?
Well, also the fact that, like, you can just go and buy a cheap-ass telescope from the store and just look at Saturn and see it pretty damn well. Like, you'll be able to see the rings on it. So any kind of, you know, powerful telescope should easily, like, I reckon we'd be able to see just about tiny little rocks and dust bits up there. Like, I want to see that floating around and getting, like, dragged as dust's getting dragged with those moons that are sort of circulating the rings and whatnot. Like, surely we could get that stuff. So yeah, like, really powerful telescope at that thing. Check it out, and yeah, in between shots and zooming in on it and stuff. Like,
good time.
I just want to add as well.
Been joined by Miles Davis. Good to have you, Miles. Very pleased to see you.
Hey, Miles.
Can't hear you.
Just get like a level check if we can. You're pretty quiet.
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, there we go. I'll just turn you right up. We can hear you.
And can I just add, before I forget, sleeping, you reminded me, I was thinking, because I'm going back through all my flat earth points now, trying to figure out what could actually be viable. And, like, when you actually think about it, the moon phases aren't actually correct either. Like, let me see, the same 8 moon phases. I think it's 8. And it should be something like that. I'm pretty sure. I was looking into it, like, and I had to think about it for a bit, the position of the moon and the Earth, and changing it from summer to winter, and it actually, we don't see that happen.
Sorry, was I being spoken to then?
A little bit.
Sorry, I was on phone. Someone rang, meaning that I didn't catch what was being said. If you're asking me something,
we've been joined by Miles Davis.
Hey, yeah, Miles came in, and I was just trying to mention the moon phases, man. The moon phases don't work properly.
No, they don't.
The moon phase.
They don't. If you look at the lunar eclipse, if you look at it on the model, their model, the lunar eclipse should last for days, and it only lasts for hours in real world.
I've been looking into people claiming that the moon phase always starts from the sorry, maybe I shouldn't say the same side, but the way I've got it in my head, like I've figured it out in my little model inside my head, but I can't say it out in words very well. I'd have to, let me look up some shots. Moon phases.
Well, while you're doing that, Anthony, can you show where I agreed to a 9:30 discussion with you this morning?
I can't, because I got sniped out of the hangout yesterday, didn't I? It was in the side track yesterday.
So I did not agree to a 9:30 thing. I sent you a message last night saying, because you had suggested 9 o'clock last night, and I said that I wouldn't be able to make that because I was working, and I sent you a message when I finished work at about 9:45, saying that I'd finish work if you were available, and
No.
that's the last. That's the last communication that I had with you, and I did not agree to anything yesterday. I suggested today sometime. You said you would need to check, and that's the last thing I saw from you.
No, Miles, you asked for 9 o'clock, and I said I couldn't do 9 o'clock.
I did not.
9:30.
I did not ask for 9 o'clock.
Yes,
I have not asked for 9
did.
o'clock. No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Yes, you
No,
did.
I did not.
Show it. Hang on.
No, I didn't.
Look, guys, this has become a moot point anyway. You're talking to each other now.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not doing this now. I want to talk about better things now.
Of course, because you never want to talk about it, Anthony.
No, I don't want to spoil it. Basically, the position is Miles thinks I'm lying, and I can prove I'm not.
No, I don't. No,
Yes,
I don't think you're lying.
Yes, you do.
No,
you call
I
me a
think
liar
you're
all
lying.
the time, Miles. You're right. Do you know what? You
on
rile
this
me
subject,
that much, Miles. I don't even want to
on
talk to you.
this-
So
on this
I'm going to
subject, I
leave.
do not.
Miles.
Anthony, on this subject, I do not think
Miles,
you are lying.
let's
On this
leave now.
subject, I think you misidentified
Miles, shut
the
up.
location.
Miles, shut
No,
up.
Anthony, I'm
Let's
entitled
leave.
to speak.
Let's leave, and we'll do the hangout right now. Get your line up now. Let's do it.
Okay.
Well, bit of a plug for Anthony's hangout. Hopefully he'll be live with Miles Davis shortly. We shall see. In the meantime, what are you showing to us, Make 4? Moon phases. You may not realise you're on mute. It's just your screen sharing, but yeah. I don't know if you're talking, Make 4, but we can't hear you. I'll give you a couple of seconds just to see if you are.
Again, oh my god, that's
There we go.
twice.
There we go, we can hear you now.
Oh dear. Oh, hang on, sorry. Okay, now I'm working. Sorry. Oh my god. So yeah, like I haven't done this myself. I haven't gone out and taken photos of the moon by myself for a whole month and actually seen this happen, because I've seen online that people are claiming that the moon only goes through these like roughly 8 phases, kind of like this, whereas the moon, the light, that people are already talking like, well, this is because of this. Come into the chat and tell me. Anyway, the light here is starting on the right and moving to the middle and eventually getting to the full and then fades away to the left. And this pattern has been registered by a few people online, and that's saying that's all we see, kind of thing. As though it was something like this, where the sun's over here on the left, and this is the wrong way around, actually, from what people have been seeing, because sun goes east to west, and you would see it happening from right to left. So this first one is yeah, where the sun would be coming in from the east, hitting the side of that moon, always on the right side of the moon, starting from the right side. But if you think about it, like when you look at this, where the sun's on the left, shining at the moon, la-di-da, if you flip that around for winter or summer, sorry, whatever it's going to be for you, they would actually start. They would begin to start coming in from the opposite side, but that never happens. Is this actually a proven thing? Like that we only have 8 moon phases instead of it should be like, well, more like 14 or 15 or 16 something. Does anyone know?
I don't know, but it's a good question. They have hang time, don't they? The phases. They should be sort of almost analog in their changing, but they just sort of hang there, don't they? Each phase.
I might just quickly look up a moon, like a time lapse of a moon for a month, even 2 months if possible, because you might need 2, or you might need one from summer and one from winter. I don't know.
While you do that, I will do a few links to encourage people to join. So you'll have a few seconds. So I hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a link to Super Chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click that link to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And if you are, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. If you've not done so already, please share the show on social media. And one last time, if you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. I've also chucked the link in the chat feed, so if someone wants to join directly from the chat, you can.
Yeah, like I just had a quick look, and I believe that it does go from right to left. Well, the first video I looked at was just kept showing it going right to left, right to left, right to left. It never goes left to right. Looked like a damn CGI though. A CGI thing. Hang on.
Shout out to Gareth Milton. Not seen you here before. Good to have you. Camera on, I suppose, while I'm doing a few shout outs. There we go. Shout out to Tim Osman. Thank you for the tip. I've lowered the bitrate down to 2000 as you advised. Thank you very much. Hopefully it's improved things. Winds of Truth. Good to see you. Physics Warrior. Regular. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you. Please don't destroy the tree. Eleanor, no. Leave the tinsel on the tree. No sound. I think you're winding me up, surely. Every bar's bouncing away, Tim Osman. I think you're having me on saying no sound. JJ, good to have you here. Nice to see you. Ron Burgundy, also nice to have you here. Good to see you. Black World Takeover says, show me an experiment with water wrapping around a ball. Not heard that one. Not heard that one before. That's a new one on me. Carry on shouting people out. Huey, good to have you here, Huey. Nice to see you. Ashley Brown, nice to see you as well. Thanks for being in our live stream. Good to have you here. Leonard, nice to see you as well. Good to have you here. See who I've missed. Scroll back a little bit. Dr. Strange Scientist, thanks for being here. I think Flat World Takeover was talking to you with that comment. Vane Veen, nice to see you here. Thanks for being in our live stream. Be sure to share the show. Bad Bob, thanks for being here. Truminati, nice to see you in the live stream. Another regular. No spam, please. I think that's it. I think I've scrolled through the whole chat. If I've missed you, I'm sorry. I'll say hello to you when I see you scroll by in the chat as the show progresses.
I'm still here. I'm just trying to pull up like an interactive sky map or something. Every video that I look at for the moon is always right to left. It's...
There's no rush. These morning shows tend to be a bit more relaxed. I was surprised we had guests in the first 15 minutes. So if there's a 15-minute like period of dead air, then it'd normally be at the beginning anyway. So who cares? Carl Stenbeck, good to see you in our chat, my friend. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Boss Ute, thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Pay attention. 3 emojis, that's tolerable. No spam, please. Good to have you here. Ninja Man. Cracking name. Thanks for being in our live stream. Please share the show. Tony! Hey, another regular. How you doing, Tony? Nice to see you. I think that's probably about it. Brief moment of calm, I think, before the storm.
Sorry, someone was asking me about the moon phases and hemispheres. As long as that right to left thing is real deal, I was talking summer to winter. So from summer to winter, so just say you're the Earth and the sun is to your left. Actually, it's to your left, and you're looking straight ahead at the moon. And the moon, say you're to the so the sun's to your left. So the moon is getting the light on the left side of it, right? So you have to get your rotation into it as well, like which direction you're coming from on the Earth, and then once you figure out like what the moon will look like and which side the light is on, switch it to winter or summer the other way around, and imagine you're rotating around the Earth and seeing that moon and which side it would be on. I'm trying to pull up a thing to give an example quickly.
In the meantime, we've been joined by Mr. Grim V. Very pleased to have you here, Grim.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Plasma.
Plasma. Yeah, thank you. Good morning, by the way, Nathan. Good morning, everybody. Try to fill the air up with a little bit of noise while he's waiting or looking for some illustrations, right?
Do you understand what I'm saying at all? Do you know if it happens, Grim? Because you're pretty like well educated, I believe. Like,
Nah, no, I'm not. Don't accuse me of that.
Well, you like reading. I can tell that. So like,
sure.
Have you heard about like how many moon phases are there, and what direction do they go in?
Well, I don't know what it's. That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm tripping out about this.
Been joined by Tim Osmond.
Basically 29, but I'm just saying they're broken into segments of. Yeah.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm all right, man.
Dim.
It's really early in the morning, man.
I say it's nearly 4 a.m.
Never up this early.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, Meg4, what's your deal, dude?
What?
Like, are you just trolling or what?
Why?
Because you've heard the evidence for this, I think, by now, haven't you?
No, actually, haven't. I haven't looked into the moon phases. Yeah. What?
Well, look into the spherical model, and that has to do with the stars, the sun, the equinoxes, the moon, all of this stuff. It works like 99-100% on the sphere Earth model. Okay.
Okay.
As for the flat Earth, They have absolutely no explanation for anything.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Cool. Do you want me to shut up or?
No, continue. I was just, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I broke it down, divided them. So I just guessed around 8. I think it should make sense.
Oh well, but like
I mean, that's like, you know, particular phases. But I mean, in reality, each day is another phase. I mean, it's just not called another phase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But
What relative or descriptive, you know, denotative, you know, whichever definition of it, because there's so many different ways. Because it's sort of an arbitrary, but not really question. It could be seen as, but no. That's yeah. Tim, maybe he you know, he might just really trying to be learning it, because I've seen some. I don't know. Maybe you've been paying closer attention than me, but I've seen some pretty decent.
No, he was on Free Chain. He was talking to this Paul guy, which is really good guy. I'm glad he came into this whole conversation. But
yeah, me too. I kind of enjoyed having a conversation with Paul the other day.
Nice. Yeah. It's just really silly, dude. Make for it's really dumb. Like there is no evidence for a flat Earth at all.
I wasn't claiming any shape of the Earth. I was just saying the moon phases are pretty weird, and if you look at it closely, you realize that if you get a tennis ball, 2 tennis balls, and even just like your phone, and pretend the phone is the sun, and like your Earth, and the ball in your hand is the moon, and like put your phone on that ball out in front of you, and pretend I'm the sun, and then spin around and stuff, move your hand around, you'll eventually realize that like if the phases do go from right to left, like I'm thinking they might, then that only works on a model which would have a sun and a moon up in the sky. It's doing circles like a yin.
What does right to left mean, first of all, dude?
Thank you.
Because it does wax and wane. You do know that, right?
I'm not worried about any fancy words or anything at all right now.
It's not fancy at all, man. That's 4th grade.
Of the observer.
I'm not worried. All I'm worried about is the light, the pure light and the shadow. That's all I'm worried about.
Do you understand? Do you think that the shadow of the Earth is causing moon phases?
No, not at all. It's the light on the side of the sphere.
Cool. Very good.
Okay. Very good. So I said sphere there, surprise, but I'm actually a little bit flat. So that doesn't make sense. So don't get angry at me. Maybe I don't understand the universe like all of us here, all 60 of us or something, or there's a whole bunch of trolls. I don't know. Anyway, so moon goes overhead, east to west, east to west, east to west, east to west, same direction every day. You're watching it go. Like sun is moving the same as well, east to west, east to west, east to west, right? But the moon, it's about the moon's position around the Earth.
So I was going to say, I see what you're thinking. It's because the Earth is spinning, dude.
No, it's
every day.
It's not that.
The moon doesn't every day make a path around the Earth.
I know.
All right, well then, what's confusing then? Unless you thought the moon makes a path around the Earth physically every day, I don't see why you're confused.
You're tripping me out.
I know. I'm really good at trickery.
The moon does a rotation every one of its orbits, which is a month, isn't it?
I'm not talking about the moon's rotation.
27.4 days.
Anyway, so I'm Earth. I put my hand out in front of me. It's a tennis ball. My hand's out in front of me. It's the moon. We are currently in the phase where the moon is out in front of me and the sun's over to the left, which means fuck all for you have whatever country you're in. Sorry, I said the F word. That was bad. I'm sorry, but
the Earth spins.
It's really hard to explain though. Like,
yeah, I think
truthfully, the thing about flat Earth is they're conflating geocentrism quite a bit. So like if you don't want to, if you want to be a special snowflake and the whole cosmos is spinning around us, And the Earth is still a sphere.
And then you have to make a disclosure too. That's what you're doing.
Like geocentrism means the Earth is a sphere still. And they do like to conflate it. Nobody in their right mind believes the Earth is flat. Period. There's no scientists around. There's no engineers. There's nothing in this movement. It's been 3 years since the resurgence.
Richard, you don't come in here muting me. You don't know me like that. That's a kickable offense right there, man. I think you got to go. Bye.
Yeah, I've been joined by a new guest.
You got to go. Bye, dude. Peace. Next time.
Can we get a hello out of our new guest? That'd be a good start.
Richard Garnash. Dickie Garnash.
And he blocked me too, so he just double downed on his getting.
Yeah,
kicked.
he needs to be removed for blocking. You can't block people, dude.
You can't just come in here trying to cause trouble.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go by myself. You don't need to kick me. I needed to block Grim for another reason.
Dickie Garnash, dude. Give me a break.
He could have stayed as long as he didn't swear. But there we go. He's
That's worse than swearing in my book. But that's my book. That's not the same as your book.
So anyway, make for there's only so many observations we can do as little peons here on the Earth, right? And there are several things that make one believe through logical inference that the Earth is a sphere. One that is absolutely killer for the flat Earth is the two celestial points north and south. Arc star trails over your zenith at the equator. Very, very simple stuff. It matches the latitude and longitude system, considering Polaris is built off of it's built off latitude and longitude. So this is a very good inclination that the Earth is spherical. Another thing is they like to say the sun and the moon are close and local, but they do not change in angular size. And let's keep in mind that they actually do rise and set. Okay, perspective has nothing to do with something being obstructed from bottom up. So, they can't even explain a sunset or a moonset.
Well, once again, I didn't say the shape of the Earth. I don't know what it is.
I've heard you, dude. And look, this is not new to me. Like I said, I've been around for 3 years. I've seen people come in thinking they're cute, saying, I'm not saying it's flat, but I'm just going to pitch flat Earth and ask a bunch of questions. Dude, there's only a few things. There's only several things that you can do to determine this. And that would be, solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, equinoxes, the stars. And if you just don't get it, then you're just not going to get it, man. Look into geodesy. Go ask a geodetic surveyor in your local area. Go rent this equipment. Go and look and see if you can.
Like almost everything he talks about.
Flat Earth is conspiracy candy. It's absolute propaganda. They have no way to model it. The best way to model it would be the oblique Mercator map. But then again, you would have to believe that the sun is doing Pac-Man, going from one side of the Earth and then all of a sudden appearing on the other side of the Earth. So that's the best you got. But we're going in the face of something that has 99 to 100% predictive capability, which means you can go to Stellarium, see what's in your sky, depending on your latitude. You can go to time and date and, azimuth, all this kind of stuff matches up like literally 100%. I like to say 100% on anything, but it all matches up, dude. And once you understand that, you conceptualize it, it logically necessitates that we're basically on a sphere. Unless something really ridiculous is happening where God or the creator or whatever created this place made it to where all observations would make the people on it think it's a sphere, but it's flat, right? That's the only excuse flat Earth can have. There's no evidence for flat Earth. Been around, there's nothing.
I gotta agree. It's just how it is.
Equinoxes kill it.
Put a
That's
cherry on
why
top of
Graham will
that.
go on and talk about the vernal equinox, and it
True.
absolutely kills it. Basically 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night everywhere else. And, you know, the sun virtually rises east and sets west for the whole Earth. And if you try to plot that on any kind of flat Earth pipe dream, you're going to have issues. But it works
11
perfect on a
suns.
sphere.
11 suns with blinders. They have to be all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, I don't want to invent a new map or give you guys any ideas, but
It's just like we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. And I can't believe that people call themselves like truth seekers and all that kind of stuff.
oh, it hurts
And
my
they
feelings.
still think the Earth is flat. You know, it's ridiculous. And also, let's just logically go through that all of these scientists, all of these people on the Earth are so stupid. They're living on a flat Earth, but they just believe it's a sphere, or they're so indoctrinated that they're too stupid. You know, all of these people, all of these practical astronomers, millions of people are just too stupid to figure it out. But a few people on the internet have figured it out. They've cracked the code, guys.
Yeah, especially with
Then let's go with cui bono. What's the cui bono here? What's the benefit of hiding a flat Earth and saying it's a sphere?
right.
I do not get it.
You know, that's something else, I'll tell you.
They say they're making no more land based on a sphere. So if there was more land, it would be a very good way of hiding it.
I think that's a
what do
very
you need more
romantic
land
idea,
for?
Nathan. I like that idea. I do. But it's just,
Yeah, I did too.
it's
I
just
looked
something
for
you
it.
say.
What do we need more land for? Think about it in the first place right now.
What do we need
when
more
you
land
can
for?
fit-
Yeah, we
well,
need
because you
more
can fit all the
resources.
people on New Zealand and on the entire globe. In New
Who
Zealand,
needs more resources?
and live
Let's just
like
make
and
do.
live like they do in New York.
Let's
That's
just continually
literally
recycle.
the entire globe can fit on New Zealand, living like New York, and the rest of the globe empty. That's how much land we have. Stop with those elitist dreams that I keep telling you we're overpopulated and we need to keep on keeping these numbers down and you know we're going to overpopulate. We can't feed everybody, and that's bullshit. They throw away more apples than they need to feed everybody in China. In the U.S., we throw away
mostly in America,
apples
man.
alone. I know it's crazy. This industry, you guys don't. Sometimes you don't know.
I've been trying for years. I've been trying for years to get with companies to because places like Einstein Bagels and stuff, all of these different companies, literally take perfectly good food, fresh food, and just throw it into a trash can while people are starving.
Yeah, and they do it right. And sometimes in cities, they do it right in front of people.
Yeah,
that are hungry. Like that's messed
it's like
up.
there's this liability issue where they can't take the liability. So I've always tried to get like a nonprofit that would take all liability and also basically have the consent of the person eating. You know, somebody hungry, like, hey, don't sue me because I'm giving you a bagel that might get you sick, because you can actually get really sick from not eating. So it's, you know, weigh your options, dude.
Right. Telling you though, it's a lot of distribution and you know just how they keep the markets manipulated. They give farmers incentives to not grow certain crops, so the markets.
They're also controlling. They're also controlling the conspiracy crowd by making them believe that the Earth is flat, making them believe that no one died on 9/11. There were no planes. It used to be a little bit better than this, it seems like, but not too much, I guess, if I really look back at it. But they control all sides of the coin. And so if they're going to want to make a huge smear campaign on the, you know, the alternate ideas, the alternate cosmologies, the idea that NASA may be faking something, well, you know what? This thing that we're doing right now is beautiful, because nobody's talking about real issues. They come on, they talk about absolute nonsense, the Earth being flat.
This kicks ass for the elite.
Absolutely.
It's their dream, dude. That's why I get on here. Well, I've been kicked off of so many channels too. I'm like, you know, hey, when's the last time we had a vaccine discussion or a GMO discussion or, you know, some of these, you know, criminal malfeasance in the government and stuff like this between pharmaceutical companies and whatnot. We got all this evidence of all this crazy stuff going on. Anybody interested? Any takers? Oh, yeah. Are you a flat earther or a glober? And we'll decide if I'll talk to you about it or not. Wait a minute. That's just what the PSYOP was designed to do, dummy. Remember when we said that 4 years ago? And you're like, oh, that's not going to divide the movement. It's going to create a better movement. No, it's not. It divided the movement. Obviously. People throw it over.
Yeah, and they think that it's going to change the world. And literally, they think it's going to change the world, dude. It's like, you're trying to change the world by making it flat.
You know all about the Seralini papers instantly. You know, like you could know about them now. What's stopping you from knowing about the Seralini papers now? We got this evidence. Oh, you don't want to do anything about it until you find out one way or another. That's a cop-out. It's like putting it off till something super special happens. Well, when I win the lottery, then I'll get that car. Knowing damn well you're not going to win the lottery. So you're not even going to set a goal to try to get the car.
Here comes the biggest disinfo, misinfo, intellectually dishonest troll ever.
This guy's lousy.
No, your butt hurts him because you've been blocked on Hotmail.
I don't know.
Oh God, dude! If you block me, that's fine. I just gave you some information. That's like really.
No, you cozy.
You're talking. You're talking about the Curie point, and you're saying there's no experiments being made. And I said, hey, here's an experiment.
That's not what I said. You've misrepresented me again, Tim. What I actually said was, if you're going to cite iron for being the core of the Earth that we're supposed to live on, can you show the evidence that shows that iron is either magnetic or conductive when it's supercritical? And the answer is they can't do it. That's what I said.
Can you look? No, you know exactly what I said. Actually, I said that I don't come on here and ask flat earthers what's on the other side of the flat Earth. Okay, I don't come on here and ask flat earthers what's at the edge of the flat Earth.
You want to say grandiose things like, hey, what evidence have you got for curvature? So when we do it back to you, you don't like it, do you? So what evidence have you got that molten iron can be, when it's supercritical, can be conductive or electromagnetic?
I'm not making that assertion.
Yeah, neither am I. In the electric universe theory, that's not even the way it works, dude.
It requires an extra.
You don't need to know what's at the center of the core as much as you don't need to know what's on the other side of the flat Earth. Okay, it's completely non sequitur.
Electricity drives
it's the whole point of your model, that we have a molten iron core creating the magnetic field that is the Earth.
It's not the whole point of the model. The model is to model the stars, the sun, and the moon, and we did that. Okay, it's perfect.
With regards to the shape of the Earth, it's an integral point of the jigsaw.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You can know the Earth is a sphere without knowing anything about the core of the Earth.
No, you need to know. Right, the claim is that it's a molten iron core. It's a solid iron core at 7,000 degrees Kelvin or 8,000 degrees, whatever.
What's on the inside of the flat Earth?
We're not making any claims about the inside of the flat Earth.
Okay, me either. I'm not making any claims about the inside of the sphere Earth.
Your model does.
Am I?
No, but your model does.
Okay, so disprove it then.
No, you need to prove that it's true first.
No. You need to disprove it.
He who asserts has the burden of proof.
I didn't assert it.
Your model does,
dude.
And you advocate
no. You're a clown, dude. You're a clown with a red nose on right now. I mean, honka.
Literally,
seriously, dude,
Tim.
you are.
Literally, not 10 minutes ago, you said that it had 100% predictive capability. And this is one of the predictions.
Stars.
But this is one of the predictions within the heliocentric model that we have an oversized iron core.
No, actually, it's a theory. It's a scientific theory.
Yeah, same as the heliocentric
model. It's the best we have.
Same as the heliocentric model.
Okay, well, you know what? If you want to argue for geocentrism, I'll give you that. But it's still a sphere.
But
We're talking about the shape of the Earth and the evidence we can do
you've gone from
to come to the conclusion.
You've gone from that to, well, no, the part about the iron core is just a theory. Well, the whole thing's just a theory.
Fine. So is flat Earth.
Well,
okay?
Yeah,
and your theory, your flat Earth theory has no legs to stand on. Okay? I'm going to probably remove that guy. Yeah. He's a troublemaker. Anyway, you guys can bring up any kind of non sequitur, like, hey, how do you know the composition of the stars and spectroscopy? Well, how do you know that? And well, okay, I'm just saying that the observations tell us that we're on a sphere. Period. Doesn't have anything to do with the molten iron core or anything like that.
No, I
joke, dude.
I don't agree, Tim, at all. Your model is based on being.
I don't care if you agree. You're an idiot.
A molten iron core or a solid iron core.
You're stupid,
magnetic
dude.
and conductive that creates
the
all
Earth
the
will never be flat, Riley.
And you guys believe it.
No, you believe the Earth is flat. The joke is on you. Joker.
No, I just don't believe the Earth. No, that's not my position. Stop telling people what my position is. My position.
Okay, well, you know what? What does your license plate say? What do you go around every day and try to do?
Yeah, flat Earth.
Okay.
If you're a flat Earther, it means that you reject the idea we live on a ball.
No. If you're a flat Earther, you believe the freaking Earth is flat. You moron.
You believe there's no curve. I'll be back.
Okay, well, we've been joined by Paul, so we have a physicist on the panel now. How are you doing, Paul?
What's up, Paul?
Hello.
Good to have you here. Nice to see you.
Nice to join.
These people are dishonest, aren't they, buddy? Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But don't you just think it's a little bit amazing that like we have just been positioned here and we get these like awesome solar eclipses and stuff? And
yeah, I think it's equally amazing that we have billions of bacteria in our body, right? I think it's equally amazing that I'm alive right now, right? Like we live in a world that is freaking amazing. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know what created us, if it was the Big Bang or whatever. But like life is amazing, dude.
Cool, man. You sound pretty happy. You should probably go outside and play.
It's 4:30 in the morning for him. He's 4:30 in the morning there.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. It's actually earlier than I thought.
No, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m. It's not even sunny there.
No.
I don't know if my moon phase argument has any validity because you wouldn't notice the switch. You wouldn't notice the switch. That's the problem. Suddenly you go from summer to
switch.
Just before
I was talking about.
Sorry. We've been joined by a new guest. How you doing? How you doing, Brief? Earth to Brief.
Hello.
Brief.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I don't know about this person, dude.
Yeah, there's a few contentious
see, now you can't remove him.
Jumping in. I've just removed him. Yeah, you've got to say hello immediately if you join. Just say hello immediately, otherwise I'll just kick you out because we've got people who people don't like on the panel and I want to keep them all here. So if you don't say hello, I'm just going to boot you immediately.
Good.
Yeah, moon phases, I don't know.
Can you guys hear me? Right now. It's crazy.
Huh? What?
I said we're all under attack right now. I know I am. That's what that guy came in here for a little while ago.
They're trying to shut us down.
Shut it down.
That's flat Earth for you, dude. Seriously. If anybody ever notices, flat earthers don't come on with evidence. They just, Sleeping Warrior is the closest.
So you think that we're just like perfectly positioned and gravity has no effect on us?
It's neither here nor there.
The moon pulls water.
I argue against gravitationally based theories, and I'm a glober.
Man, if it's strong enough to keep us in an orbit, it must be pretty damn strong. Like, if momentum is there, but it's still pulling us into a circle, it's pulling, isn't it?
You're in suspended disbelief about the intricacies of our world, and really, you need to look into geocentrism. You need to look into geocentrism if you don't believe in all of this stuff.
Electric buoyancy, yo.
Also, if you'd like, gravity is massive. Listen, gravity is mass attraction. Gravity is mass attraction, guys, and there is something called the Cavendish experiment.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, no. You can look at the Cavendish experiment, and I would love if somebody would actually do the Cavendish experiment on the flat Earth side.
Aries and stuff.
Is this just a joke to you, dude?
A little bit. It is kind of because you guys are just
then you should remove yourself from the conversation.
Oh,
because you're not helping anyone.
Not you, Grim, but just sometimes the way that
No, I'm Tim Osmond. I'm not Grim.
I'm Grim.
Tim. Yeah, I know. I said not Grim. I'm talking to you, Tim. It's just your attitude is a little bit like, when flat Earth. When
Yeah, you are
more or
stupid,
less
dude.
just
You ask the
talking-
stupidest questions. Well, it's
But he's doing
gravity,
okay,
man. I
Nick,
just smoked the
or-
bowl, man. I'm so cool. I'm cool, bruh.
He's doing
Like,
okay.
you sound like a
so-
freaking
in my
idiot,
opinion.
dude.
different types of people. Jesus, it must be hard for you to deal with.
Maybe there's something in the
Like, it's
air
really saying,
today,
like,
like in the radio waves, where it's just kind of hitting your Schumann resonance a little awkwardly, messing up your tune with the earth. Maybe somebody needs to go outside and barefooted for a minute and ground to.
Like, I mean, like
Like,
someone
you know.
you do realize not
Musa.
all of you haven't explained everything. Like, science hasn't got an answer for everything. All right, I'm a total
Oh.
clown.
That wasn't a cuss word.
So
That's
Nobody
actually a
said
name.
science has an answer for everything, nor should they.
So okay, so don't
That's
talk
how
like you
you're
know
on.
everything. Like,
No,
be
I know
humble.
that the Earth is a sphere, and I know the observations, and I know that flat Earth doesn't work. Okay,
You saw it with your own eye.
I don't need to see it with my own eye.
Okay.
Right. There's, like I said
don't
when I
know,
came
man.
in,
I
there's
saw
logical
Jesus, bro. I
inferences
saw
one can make.
Jesus. No,
So you're just
I
a
didn't see
freaking
Jesus.
idiot, dude. Like,
Well,
seriously,
I
why
mean-
don't you just leave?
It's in the books, right? It's in the books. You know, there's lots of people that disagree with some of Einstein's stuff.
Okay, I'm not saying that I completely agree with all of Einstein's stuff, but the shape of the Earth still remains. The observations still remain.
Gotta
So-
agree.
so-
Without
we-
knowing
we-
the Curie point, without knowing
know,
that
it's like there's no
gravitational
really-
bullshit.
We don't. There's no
Excuse me.
reason to even get
You
mad
don't need to agree with
about it.
Einstein to know the shape of the
Pretty
Earth.
much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're just talking to a person who you think is less intelligent than you, and I possibly am in some areas of life.
No, you're maybe just less informed.
Yeah,
could
you
be
might be less informed, dude. We've been around this for a long time.
Less indoctrinated, perhaps? Is that the word?
Well, no,
you're more
informed.
looking
It's
for?
because I'm not indoctrinated like that either, right? You realize I argue against gravitationally based theories.
I
on the
agree. That's why.
cosmology
This guy's a waste of
Sorry.
time, man.
So we are coming up on the 1 hour mark, and I'm going to run through a few links. It's very cordial, so I'll keep this quick. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and most importantly, if you would like to join the panel to discuss the shape of the Earth, not to snipe people, you can click the link in the info box below this video. Be sure to mute the page you are currently watching, and in this instance be sure to say hello immediately when you join, otherwise I will just kick you out, as there are some contentious characters on the panel as we speak. If you've not done so already, please share the show on Facebook, Skype, Twitter, and all the social media platforms that you have at your disposal. And one last time, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Big deal. Like I can just see with observations, use math, like observations, towers over the horizon from a particular distance, dividing by the radius or the 360 degrees to come up with a radius or circumference. You guys are trying to like erase the idea that we can do that. Well, how do you think I built my farm?
Let me ask
How do you
not
think I
saying this,
knew how
but
much
you
room
guys-
I had with angles, right, to put things where I needed to put them at my farm without math, dude?
Back at me.
Let me ask you.
Like,
That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make, or geometry at least, right? So you're trying to say, well, don't use you're trying to say your perception.
Right, I've
You-
muted Graham 'cause he's just talking.
Wait a minute, you
trying
don't
to
come in
say
here.
I don't believe in the plug that brings me electricity. or
Don't
something.
mute
Like,
people. Don't mute people.
You don't-
Whoever
you don't
just
mute
muted
me,
Grim,
sleeping
don't
warrior.
mute people.
Let me
What's
ask
wrong
you a
with you,
question,
dude?
Grim. If I came over to your
No,
house,
you don't come. You don't
arrange
mute
about
me, interrupt me in the middle of a sentence, and
Yeah,
then
but you're gish
say,
galloping.
"Let me ask you a question."
You're gish galloping. Let me ask you a question. If I came over to your house in a rage of fury and I stabbed your mum and dad to death with a knife, would you use maths to
You
prove?
wouldn't be able to get into my house, dude. And mom and dad
Oh, that's
doesn't
a
live at my
ridiculous
house.
question.
My mom and dad don't live at my house,
Right. Point is,
They're
would
dead.
you use
They're
maths
both
to prove
dead.
that I killed your mum and dad or not?
but they're already dead.
That's
Yeah,
a
but-
ridiculous question, Anthony, and you
No,
know
it's
it.
exactly the question. If I come
No,
over and attacked you with a
already
machete, would you use maths to prove that I did it? No. So why would you use maths to prove anything else?
What do you mean? Would I use math to prove that you did it? Of
What
course
does
I
maths
would.
prove?
I would count up the years that you were going to spend in prison.
Actually, maths would be used in many cases.
In
murder
doesn't prove
cases
causation.
That's right.
to show
I would be able to
the
know by
direction
the
of
height.
bullet, to show direction of stab wounds, height, what handiness someone is.
Hold on. We've got Grim Man. I can't hear anything. One at a time. Grim or Miles? Miles seems to have something to actually
Since it's
define
my parents
what
getting
Anthony said.
slashed, I might as well do the talking, right?
Sure. So how would you prove it?
Absolutely.
I guess we would do math very easily to prove that it was you. We would be able to prove it was you by deducting your height from the splatter marks from the wounds and the locations of the bodies. We'd be able to size your shoe,
that
your blood
prove that it was me
footprint,
anyway.
your bloody footprint.
That would prove
that
would prove
math,
the angle of entry.
Dimwit.
No, it would prove the angle of entry.
It's
How
math,
would you
dude.
prove with maths that I stabbed both your parents whilst they slept? How would you do that?
Actually, you wouldn't be able to stab my parents.
There you go. There you go. You would need other evidence, wouldn't you?
You'd be shot in the forehead before you ever got through the door. The dogs would be eating on your innards.
Yeah, but you need other evidence. Maths wouldn't prove anything. It would just prove the angle of the penetration.
Meanwhile, hey guys,
Anthony,
that's why
Anthony, you're trying to
you
say
get caught all the time. Stupid
Anthony,
people like
you're
you get
trying-
caught
any
all the
evidence
time.
for
Can I
that?
say
They
something
don't
to you?
realize that the reason that your fingerprints
Anthony,
show up is because of math.
No, it's not because of maths. Don't be ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous.
Anthony, you're trying to say that if you can't use maths to prove that he killed your parents, then you can't use maths to prove anything, and that's a non sequitur.
No, I'm saying that
he
maths
can't
doesn't
use maths to
prove
prove your
causation.
parents, therefore you can't use maths to prove anything.
I'm
It's
saying
rubbish.
that maths doesn't
logic.
prove causation. In the
Breakdown
same
right
way
there.
that calculating the core of the temperature of the Earth doesn't prove that it's right. Doesn't prove anything. What proves it's right is getting the temperature readings. How you proved it. That's causation.
What are you worried so much about the core temperature of the Earth for when you can't even figure out what shape it is?
Well, it kind of depends on the shape of it, doesn't it? If
No,
you
it
can
doesn't.
prove, if you can
It
prove
really
it's
doesn't.
down there,
No,
and
no,
prove-
actually, it really doesn't. Actually,
come on now, guys.
it
So I
relies
just-
on your model being proved
my
correct.
model isn't that model.
Yeah, it is. Your model's not.
No,
So what's your model then, Grim?
No, that isn't it. I have an electric model. The Earth is spun electrically, driven by the current that it is in,
Right.
and the solar
But have you got
current
any
that it's
evidence to
in
show
from the
that
electric
current is electric
sparkling currents that have been detected. This is all recent stuff that has just finally been coming to light as positively correct.
Have you got any evidence to support your claim that
Yes,
the
I
rotation
sure
of
do.
the
I
Earth
have
creates a
lots
charge?
and lots of it, dude. I have 250 something videos on Thunderbolts Project Space
Can you
News
present it?
Videos.com.
Curve?
I mean, yeah, YouTube.com.
Can you
Thunderbolts
present it
Project
for us?
Space News videos.
Honestly,
That's
like,
good enough.
Can you
Can't
present
type?
it, Grim?
Not your mommy.
maybe not.
Is that your
Grim,
mom?
can you
Is
present the
that-
evidence
Is that
for
why you
us?
do that? You ask people for every single thing. I gave it
Yeah,
to
no.
you.
Not every
Like,
single.
back when I was a kid, when someone verbally gave you information, you took your pencil and you wrote it down and you went and you looked it up for yourself.
Unless
That's
you
what I
can
expect
prove,
you to do. I'm not
unless you can
asking you to
prove-
do anything that I haven't had to do on my own.
Grimf,
all
would you
I'm
agree
saying,
that
buddy.
what you're describing is
It takes a
causing
long
the
time
dynamo
to learn
theory?
as much as I know about this stuff. And there's
Grimf?
no way we're going to go over all of those points with you.
See, this is why you get
Saying
muted, Grim, because you're
Again.
talking rubbish. Can you
Not
prove
rubbish.
with evidence that your dynamo
you're
theory
trolling.
has got any credibility?
I think what I said made perfectly good sense.
it made sense,
There
yeah,
are
but I'm asking you to
flaws in
prove
both
it.
theories. So,
Can
like,
you prove
in
your
a way,
dynamo theory is credible?
Yes,
How?
you can prove it.
Go on, I'm
To
asking you
yourself.
to prove it. You're the one that claims it.
Well,
You prove it.
It's not my theory.
You just said it was. I asked you what was your theory, and
No, I
that's
did
what you
not
come
say
back
it
with.
was my theory, dude.
I asked you what was your theory, and
Somebody
that's
else's
what you
theory
came
and
back
take
with.
credit for somebody else's theory. This is definitely not what happens.
Nathan, did
We
he
need a
say it's
list.
theory or not?
But all the evidence is there. The data
Where
supports
is it?
all of the theory
get some.
as far
Go
as
and
the
get some.
electric currents measured
Go and get
from
some.
the Earth.
Go and get some evidence.
All that stuff exists. I already told you where it is.
Go and get it then. Show it.
You go get it real
No,
quick.
you're the one making the claim.
Just real quick, go get it, buddy.
You're the one making
Thunderbolts,
the
dog
claim.
info.
I'm doing your work for you.
That's not. I don't need to do any work. This is you that doesn't know this.
You're the one.
You're the one
making
who
the
has a
claim.
vacuous area in your brain missing
Maybe
this
we should ask
information.
Paul, the
not me.
physicist, to help you. Maybe Paul
So
could help
Understand
you.
that, right?
Paul, have you
You
got any
understand that
evidence?
you're
to support
literally the
Grim
one that
Vinny's
doesn't know
assertions that
about
we
this.
live on a dynamo theory?
Everyone listening has heard me talk about this several times.
Has anybody seen any
Right.
evidence though?
Yes, everyone has seen.
Can you
evidence
present some
by
now?
now.
Or maybe if you
If
can't,
they've
maybe
looked.
Paul could do it on your behalf.
Can I
if
ask
they've
if you
looked
think?
into
No,
the Thunderbolts.
So there's no evidence, Grimp.
Well, it's
No,
only
I
been
don't-
since yesterday that he's heard of it,
No evidence.
or he probably has, but
No evidence.
But yes, there is lots of evidence. I already gave it to you. Do you
might
think
as well
I'm
be
not going to
Santa.
give it to you? Is that what it is? Because I like to let you hang yourself,
It
dance
might as well
around.
be Santa, Grim. If you haven't got any evidence, it might as well be Santa. And I don't see Paul rushing to your rescue as a physicist.
What do you
If
think?
there was
What do you
evidence
want?
there, Paul would be right on it.
What do you want
That's
for
right.
evidence?
I want evidence of your dynamo theory that you're predicting. That is your model.
Lots of
Like
evidence.
today's show, bro, right now.
Didn't I just do this yesterday?
No, I watched yesterday's chat. I didn't see any evidence from you.
Really?
Evidence to
Nothing?
prove. Evidence to
so
prove
Let's
that
go on my history real quick. We'll do this live. How about that?
Honestly,
Yeah.
we need to make like a community what have we debunked list kind of dealio, because I just debunked myself while you guys were bickering. I thought about that moon thing, and basically you would only notice it if you were to like instantly switch from summer to winter and then like realize like, oh, it's the light's on this side now, but you wouldn't really notice it all year round. Anyway, I kind of want to talk a little bit about the old what is it, that Aries thing? Like, if it's got a little bit to do with the ether as well, because there's a few dudes that was like Sangway or something, I forget his name, shooting off lasers in different directions and like testing the ether and having the circular wheel that spins around with lasers inside it, and
Sanyak.
they bounce off mirror. Yeah, Sanyak.
Sanyak effect.
we can talk about this, but I'd still like to see the evidence from either Grim or Paul that the dynamo theory is credible. So yeah, we can talk about it, but you two can be looking for evidence in the background to support your assertions.
What do you mean? What do you mean evidence for the dynamo theory? What sort of evidence are you looking for, Anthony?
The same evidence I asked you for last time we ran into each other, Paul. The evidence that supports the notion
Yeah.
of iron when it's in its molten or solid state,
What
critical temperatures, is either conductive or magnetic. Same evidence. That's what I'm asking for.
Okay.
And being a physicist, you should be able to get that
Magnetic.
relatively easily because you've got textbooks and stuff, right?
Yeah, I've got textbooks, but
So
textbooks don't.
Supercritical
Okay,
evidence of
hang on.
supercritical iron that's either conductive or electromagnetic or even magnetic at the temperatures cited. That's what I'm asking for. Not sodium at room temperature, at room pressure, with a low boiling point that's not supercritical.
Hang on. Just bear with me.
Yep.
I've just got to
but
get
yeah,
my
like,
things organised here.
just to go with old Aries and stuff, man. Is that actually for real deal? Like, is there an explanation for those two, Sangway or whatever it is?
Just let's see what Paul produces make for. We'll come back to you in a sec.
Yeah, just hang on.
I'll tell you what. Well, let's deal with Paul. Right, okay.
No, now aren't you guys robots?
Can
Jesus,
you-
where's my answer?
Can you see what's on my screen at the moment? I'm sharing something at the moment here.
Could you also put the link in the side chat so I can reference it in my own time afterwards as well?
Yeah, I can do that in a moment. Okay. What I've got up here is a scholarly article. This is only the abstract of the article because it requires you to purchase the actual article if you want to read it, and I'm just not prepared to do that at the moment. It's an article from, can't remember what year this one was from. This is from 1994, okay? And you can see that they did an experiment here. Y-shaped iron samples were assistively volume heated as part of a fast capacitor discharge apparatus. Measurements of current through the specimen, voltage across the specimen, radiance, temperature and thermal expansion of the specimen as a function of time allow the determination of specific heat and various dependencies amongst enthalpy, electrical resistivity, temperature and density for liquid iron up to 5,000 degrees Kelvin.
Yeah.
High pressures up to 3,800 bar, which are
Yeah.
the kind of pressure we're talking about at the centre of the
So,
Earth.
Can you show me where in the
Are
article?
you-
Can you show me where
Are
in the
used,
article?
hang on, are used to obtain liquid state for above the normal boiling point. An estimate of critical point data for iron is given by using experimental data of the vapor pressure of liquid iron. So this is basically an experiment that they've done, and plenty of experiments like this have been carried out that determine and characterize iron at the kinds of temperatures and pressures that you'll find at the Earth's core.
Right.
Okay.
Hang on. What was the temperature that this
Yep.
was done at? Did you say up to 5,000 degrees Kelvin?
Yeah.
What's the critical
right.
temperature of iron?
Huh?
What's the critical temperature of iron?
Well, the critical point, it depends on the pressure. Okay. It depends on the pressure, right?
Right. So
The critical point, it depends on the pressure. It's much lower than that.
So yeah, okay. So
Okay.
can you show me how that molten
What
iron?
they're doing,
Can you show
what
me
they're
where
doing
it's at?
here is, if you want to know what I'm saying, Anthony, is that these experiments have been done.
No,
They've tested
hang
the
on, wait.
electrical conductivity.
You're generalizing.
They've
what it's saying.
characterized it.
No, you're
Huh?
generalizing what it's saying, Paul. Let's be specific, because my specific request was show that molten iron can generate electromagnetics itself perpetually as well. So does that article show that molten iron generates electromagnetics self-sustainably? Does it do it?
Hang on. Okay. And I've got another article here. All right. This is another article that they
So that would be a
this is
no
from-
for that last one then.
hang on. Okay. This article here was from a 2003 issue of Science magazine, and they've carried out experiments, a similar sort of thing, under high pressure using a diamond cell, where they melt iron and they look at it with X-rays, and they determine the characteristics of it with X-rays. Okay, and they come up with, let's have a look here. Represents an advance in melting temperature determination at ultra-high pressure with critical information about the structure and density of the solid phase right before melting. The ultimate challenge for determining the temperature of the core is to obtain not only the melting temperature of iron, but also the light element partitioning between the liquid and solid iron at 330 gigapascals. This can only be achieved by further improving techniques that generate stable, simultaneous high pressures and temperatures corresponding to the conditions at the intercore boundary, along with in situ X-ray diffraction. So they've done these experiments and they've determined.
Wait.
Yeah.
Specifically, where does it say in either article that molten iron can be electromagnetic or conductive? Because you need both. Find either reference in either article and you can have your point. Neither article is talking about electromagnetic or conductivity.
Well, I'd have to purchase that first article to go through it and see there. But iron is conductive by its very nature.
Prove it.
A
No,
metal.
not when it's supercritical.
It's a
It isn't.
metal.
Not when it's supercritical.
It's a
it isn't.
metal.
No,
Anthony,
Paul.
can you
It's a
produce
med- it
can you
changes.
produce
It's
an
not a-
article that shows that iron is not conductive at supercritical temperatures and pressure, the pressure at the center of the Earth? Can you produce something that says it's not?
The assertion at this point is not proved. It requires
plasma is
conductive or
You are the one making the
electromagnetic
assertion that it is not.
That's
Plasma
the
is a
assertion.
conductor,
Miles,
dude.
you don't know what you're talking about. Pipe down.
Your whole argument has been vacuous. I've been sitting back quietly, just letting you hang yourself. But your whole argument is vacuous in the first place. Plasma is a conductor of electricity.
We're at the crescendo of the
Did you
point.
know that?
Yeah, Grim.
Can we finish
he's,
the point,
Grim,
please?
he's
We're at
just
the
getting to the end of
crescendo.
his point
Yeah,
and
but
you're
I agree
hijacking
with
it.
I agree with Miles, Anthony. You're the one making the assertion that it's not conductive in
No.
all of our experiences.
I'm
and
asking
all of the
you
experiments
to
that we
prove the
do.
evidence.
No,
And you haven't done.
you are asking
Paul.
me to
Paul.
prove that it's not.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm asking you to prove that it is. Your claim.
Oh, and you're making the assertion that it's not. It's up to
I'm
you.
asking you.
You have the burden of evidence.
Iron is
prove that
conductive
it's
under
not.
all circumstances tested.
Miles.
You have to
Miles.
show that it is
The
not
article.
conductive
Miles,
under
shut up.
certain conditions.
Way beyond your level, Miles. Shut up.
Oh,
Paul.
no, it's not, mate.
Is
And
there
it's way
anywhere in,
beyond
that,
yours
in
too,
either
Andy.
article? Is there anywhere in either article where it talks about the conductivity while it's supercritical, or its electromagnetic abilities? Because I didn't see anything based on what you've showed.
Yes, there is in that first article, but I haven't purchased the article. And in all
Can you
our
show- can you
experience,
show it,
Anthony,
please?
iron is conductive. Iron is conductive in all situations. There
Prove
is
it.
no evidence to suggest that iron is not conductive. You are the
Paul.
one making the assertion that iron is not conductive, and the burden
it's-
of proof is on you
No, it's not.
to prove that it's not
assertion-
conductive.
The assertion is
All
when
right.
it's critical, it becomes that it is
Like I
conductive
said, it's
and
a
electromagnetic. I'm
Like
calling
I
BS.
said.
No,
So I will pay for the article, Paul.
Some dumb. I said
I'll pay for the article.
No,
purchase the article and let's see what it
tell
says.
you that plasma is a near perfect conductor.
The article and let's see what it says. I'll pay for it.
All right.
Are you going to learn or just talk? Because that's all you seem to do. You've got something in your ears all the time.
But you purchase the article and I'll pay for it. Let's see what the article says. You cited the first one.
Purchase the article and read it.
And I'll do you a deal, Paul. I'll buy it, but if it doesn't talk about the electromagnetic effects on the molten iron, or it doesn't deal with the conductivity of molten iron when it's supercritical, then you can buy it. If you think that you're right,
for more than 20 years, it's the only known superconductors.
We'll do it right now.
Liquid helium temperatures were a few dozen compounds, basically, virtually, all based on coppers, I think. Now, scientists have discovered this. The first high temperature superconductors that are based on iron. These novel materials could help unravel one of the world's biggest mysteries in science and how exactly high temperature versions work. In superconductors, electric currents flow completely without blah, 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 blah. Starting in 1986, however, physicists began discovering a new class of superconductors operating well above absolute zero, temperatures as high as 160 kelvins.
Talking about critical temperatures, not absolute zero temperatures.
Man,
these materials. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, dude. When we're talking about iron, when you're talking about it being a molted iron, it's a plasma.
Paul, are you purchasing the article?
Partially.
Can I?
Beg your pardon?
Does
not
light
at the
bend
moment, no.
when you fling it around?
No.
What?
Paul, are you purchasing the article?
What? I'm not at the moment, no.
Bloody
right, I'm asking you to buy it, and if you're
I
right,
have no reason. I have no reason.
I'm calling BS, Paul. I'm calling you out. You cited that in that first article it talks about the conductivity, and I'm calling BS. Let's see.
I have no reason to doubt that iron is not conductive.
I'll pay for it.
I have no reason to doubt that iron is conductive.
I'm asking you to prove it, and it's your
at that temperature.
So buy the thing.
No, it's your assertion that it's not. It's your assertion that it's not.
Your
the burden
assertion
of
to
proof is on you to prove that it's not conductive.
It's your assertion.
You are the one asserting that it's not conductive.
You're the one that claims it's an iron core and it's conductive and it's electromagnetic because of the dynamo theory, and so was Grimv. I'm asking, you've now got an article that you claim addresses it. I'm asking you to buy it, and I'll pay for it if you're right. If you're wrong, you can pay for it.
Why don't you just buy it?
Are you gonna pay for it if you're
the one making the assertion that it's not conductive.
No, you're the one that's asserting.
You don't go around saying to people you can't prove that it's conductive.
Why?
Hey,
all right.
You haven't proved that it is.
That article for free.
You haven't proved that it isn't, Anthony.
Sorry, guys.
You haven't proved that it isn't.
I'm just going to turn you down for a second just so I can introduce our guest so we can actually get a word in and be heard. So we've been joined by Nick L. Very pleased to have you here, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Paul.
Nick. Pleased
I
to
have
have you here.
free access to that article because it comes as a part of my institution because I'm at university right now, so I could send it to you if you want.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. I'd appreciate that.
Are you able to do it now?
I mean, I've literally got the article in full PDF right now. So.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks.
If you've got it in PDF, how do we get it? How do we get it public so we can see it?
You have to be a part of an institution or just purchase it.
Like no, what I mean is, if you've got it as a PDF, can you email it to Nathan maybe or whatever?
I'll email it to Paul. I don't like. Yeah. I'll email it to Paul if he drops any email or something like that.
How do I do that?
Rightio, boys. I'm bloody trying to ask yous. All right. Trying to ask you a question here.
Before you do, hold on 1 second, mate. Hold on. So if you want to, I've just put the no one can see us anymore. So if you want to exchange email addresses, not the audience can't see for the moment.
How do I do that? What do I do?
Are you on a computer?
To do that?
Are you on a PC or a phone?
I'm on a PC.
So just go into the side chat and just type your email address. It'll pop up for Nick to be able to grab. Presumably he's on a PC as well.
Thanks.
Can you see the group chat down the right-hand side of the screen, Paul?
Yep, I can. I'm typing in my address.
Yeah.
Just don't say it. Don't verbally say it.
I'm not saying it. I've just put it in, Nick. Okay.
I love men 86.
Okay, I'll get that to you in a few minutes.
.com. Oh,
Okay, and then what do I do? Do I delete it from the side chat now, or what?
I think I can delete that comment from the side chat, but I'm not going to display the side chat to the audience anyway. So,
Nick, would you mind sending me a
Okay.
copy of the same thing? Because I'd love to read it too, please, if it'd be okay. If not, Paul, could you then forward it on to me?
Just
Sure.
want to check because the fact that you have to pay for this, am I actually
Thermal and electric conductivity of iron at Earth or conditions. Core conditions.
Say that again, Nick.
well, the fact that you have to pay for this and only people with like university and like institution access can send it. Am I actually legally allowed to send this or something or what?
If you, I don't know.
Okay.
That's just one thing that's coming suddenly.
Yeah, well, you check it. You check it out because I'm not in a position to go spending,
I mean, I could
30 or 40
I could
euros.
just screen share it and you could go through it and see anything of interest.
Yep.
what's going on? What's going on,
Okay.
boys?
That's where we're at. Like it'd be nice to see this article to see what sort of evidence it has. I imagine that they've got conductivity and resistivity
You
measurements.
imagine now,
at
you
those
did originally say it was
temperatures.
in there though, Paul. You diluted
Well,
it a
that's
little
what it
bit there,
said.
haven't you?
No, that's what it says the article contains.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've-
originally you said it did, and now you're saying you imagine it does. So I'd be interested. I'd be very interested to look at it.
Nick's sharing the article. Okay.
Oh, hang on, let me click on
sorry,
Nick.
just to clarify, are you not wanting me to show this to the public, Nick?
yeah, I would probably. I'm not 100% sure on like.
Fine,
whether
it's not
I'm
going out. No
allowed to
worries.
share
I'll
it,
keep it on the
but
screenshots. I won't show it.
If Paul and Anthony can just see it, then that would.
Yep.
probably suit
For the time
purposes.
being, I'll just leave it on
Yep.
the script, the photo, so the public can't see it.
Well, if we're going to do this now, let's do it. Can we start with page 1 and read what the
Yeah.
abstract says?
Yeah. If you guys want me to change pages or stop, just say I'm in.
Yeah, just go to page 1 and let's read what the context is. Right. There are a few data for critical point parameters of metals available because for most metals they can be deduced only from theoretical models, which is my point. Therefore, we have continued our work on thermophysical properties of ferromagnetic metals by studying iron in the liquid phase, including an estimation of critical point parameters of iron. Great! Some thermophysical properties of iron have already been measured using a different discharge circuit and pyrometer, which could not resolve the melting plateau of iron. In this earlier paper, thermal expansion was measured only at pressures of 1 bar, which is a bit of a problem, wouldn't you agree, Paul?
That's what they're saying that previous experiments have been able to do. Okay.
As discussed
And
in
that's what
reference
this
7.
experiment addresses.
As discussed in reference 7, therefore, 2 high values of sample volume have been measured for higher.
Yeah, keep going. Scroll down.
Just hang on a second.
What they're saying here is that limited data is available in the literature. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So what they're saying is that, okay.
Just hang on a sec. What am I doing here?
Yeah,
So, and then in the
Jesus,
next
mate.
paragraph, they're saying, in the present work, fast pulse heating technique was used to reach temperatures far above the melting point of iron. Okay. And the following are obtained. The heat. Yep.
Iron samples.
Basically, what the
Iron samples are resistively volume heated far into the liquid phase by passing large current pulses through them using 2 different discharge circuits. Heating rates of 10 to the power 8 and 10 to the power 9 K were achieved. Using 2 different discharge circuits, heating rates of 10 to the power 8 and 10 heating rates were achieved. Wire-shaped samples
Rates per second.
wire samples were of 99.99 plus purity, with typical strength length of 40 millimeters and different diameters. The measurements were conducted in a pressure vessel under static ambient pressures from atmospheric pressure up to 3,800 bar to permit nearby isobaric conditions. The pressurizing medium was water. The discharge circuits consist of capacitors for energy storage, capacitor banks with 500 or 5.4, and a fast-acting main switch, and a high-pressure experiment chamber with sapphire windows.
okay, all of this, Anthony, all of this is just explaining the experiment. We need to scroll down just to see what the data is that they got.
Yeah, but we want to
Okay.
see whether it's doing what you're saying it's doing.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're going to need to get to the results. Okay.
The results. The data.
Okay, that's about that's about the enthalpy. Okay. We don't need to know that.
We're looking for conductivity or electromagnetic.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of iron. I'm sorry, guys.
Ability.
Just
No,
iron
there.
can die in a hole.
There we go. Critical point data can be estimated by the following considerations. A vapor pressure equation derived from... Right, so move down a bit.
Sorry, what someone just wrote in
Okay,
chat
there you
is making me cack. Sorry. Hey,
There you go.
midgets,
There's the data. There's the data.
Does the Earth
There's
look
the data
flat
for
to
the
you?
resistivity.
Yes. There you go.
Right, just Paul, could you say what you were saying? There's the data for what?
Okay, table 2, experimental results on the thermophysical properties of iron obtained in this work: enthalpy, temperature, density, electrical resistivity.
Now, let's just reconsider
In the
what
table.
factors here. What are they
Okay.
adding to make the heat here?
What do you mean?
They're adding electricity, aren't they? It's not generating its
No.
electricity. They're adding the electricity to test it.
No, they're not.
They're just melting the iron.
No,
They're using electricity to create heat. It is not going through the iron. That's separate.
It's a cube with the moon's actually a hexagon.
Could you scroll down a bit more? Let's see what the worded conclusions are. Stop there. Stop there. Stop. That top graph. Right, vapor pressure. Forget that one. Move down a bit. Pressure bar. Forget that one. Stop. Obtain values for the critical pressure and the critical temperature compared with data of... No, that's not right. Go down a bit more. Estimation of errors. Right, thermal physical property. Right there. There we go. Thermal physical properties of liquid iron. Conclusions. The thermal physical properties of liquid iron were investigated by using a fast pulse heating technique. The mutual dependencies among enthalpy, temperature, density, and electrical resistivity have been obtained, as well as the melting enthalpy and the specific heat. They are in good agreement with the results of other authors. In addition, some vapor pressure data has been obtained at higher pressures by interpreting the maximum the temperature traces, whilst the enthalpy increases further at the start of vaporization. Combined with the obtained vapor pressure equation with a relation between the critical pressure and the critical temperature, we estimated a critical point values of temperature and pressure for iron. Right, so there's no mention at this point about the conductivity or the electromagnetic effects. It's talking about...
But there is, in that table. In that table that goes previously, there is data on the resistivity of the iron. Okay, in that table there, the resistivity of the iron in ohms per meter is there.
Yeah,
and you can see...
not conductivity.
Well, resistivity is the same as conductivity. It's just the inverse.
No, it's not. It's
okay.
Yeah,
But it measures the same thing. It measures the same thing. And you can see that in those tables there, it doesn't change a lot. 1.42 down to 1.71. It doesn't change a lot.
Yeah, that's
still conducting conductivity.
Has anyone ever seen a link that big?
That's not supporting conductivity. That's going against conductivity.
That's a harvard.edu there, Link. You have fun with that.
Okay.
That's not supporting conductivity. That's supporting resistivity. That's going against your argument, not in favor of it.
I'm sorry, Anthony, but resistivity and conductivity are intimately related.
Yeah, they're the opposite.
Okay.
They're the opposite.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So if something...
That's right. That's right.
So,
okay.
Right, so
if
Paul,
something has
Paul,
low
Paul,
resistivity,
right.
it has a high conductivity.
Answer this with a yes or a no. As the temperature goes up, is the iron getting more or less resistive?
Okay, as the temperature goes up in this article here, the resistivity is going slightly up.
Right.
It's not changing by much.
How can it be conductive if the resistivity is going up?
So a low resistivity indicates a material that readily allows a flow of electronic current. So if the resistivity is going up, it would decrease the amount of electronic current that could allow to flow through it.
Correct.
Yes,
So that
but
doesn't
not
support-
remove it.
That's right.
The change is very small.
And bear in mind,
It's very small.
Sorry,
That's
so
right.
I'm just going to
Not
highlight
supporting
this. So far, what you've said supports it absolutely does not. In fact, it does the opposite of support it.
Correct.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
No.
it does.
No,
It
it's
supports what he thought it was going to be.
Did you need more to just repeat what I just said, Miles? It might not have come across.
Say it again, Nath.
A low
They're
resistivity.
generally less conductive. That's a given. We
Sorry,
told
Grim.
them
No,
that.
it's not a given. It's supposed to be conductive, Grim, for your dynamo
if
theory.
you look at this isn't
It
micro.
is conductive.
It's very small.
No, it's not. It's getting more
It's
resistive.
less conductive than a solid state.
Yeah. Look,
Gents,
the point
doesn't
that's
support
being made, and
It's
Anthony,
like a vibration
Anthony,
goes
listen,
faster through ice than it does through water.
Nathan, could you say your line again? Because you hit the nail on the
It's
head.
pretty much the same thing if you think about it that way.
Nathan,
You
say
know,
what you
if
just
you
said.
tap the
Anthony.
ice, you hear the sound a mile away faster in the ice than you would a mile away in the water.
Nathan, could you say what you just said? Because you hit the nail on the head.
Sure. A low resistivity indicates a material that readily allows the flow of electric current.
Correct.
So as you can see,
And this is a low resistivity.
No, it's getting more
the
resistive.
resistivity,
Look,
and
getting
the
slightly
What is
resistivity.
more
this
resistive.
argument supposed to do anyway? What if we're receiving our
This is
electrical
all
current
your
from
micro-
outside?
What do you mean, what's this argument supposed to do? They've just been completely obliterated in this argument. You're asking what it now does.
The
As the
idea
temperature goes
is
up,
the way
the
we're saying it is in the
resistivity
electric
goes up.
universe.
Anyway,
Okay.
we've been
The
joined
current
by a
comes
new
from
guest. I just want to say
outside
hello to
and
Alexandra.
The
How
way
you doing,
in.
Alexandra? How you
And
doing?
works on the
Guys.
core on the way.
Guys.
Sorry, I'll turn you down. God, we've been joined by a new guest, Alexandra. How you doing?
The point that we need to make here is that the resistivity here is in
No, got to try a third time. You need to recognise when I'm talking, none of you can be heard, regardless of how important you think your own voice is. While I'm talking, I'm the only one being heard, and until this new guest gets introduced, you will all stay as low as I deem worthy. Right, Alexandra, we'll try that a third time. Can you say a quick hello?
Hello, and it's not the third
Hey.
time. It's the first time that I'm joining.
Sure.
Oh, you're
Hey,
talking.
Gio.
Very pleased to have you here, my friend. Very good to have you.
Hi, Gio.
Hi. Anthony, as I just saw you are talking about resistivity again. Do you remember when we had the hangout about your claims that the pyramids were power plants?
Right, how is that relevant to what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, you said that back then you said granite would be conductive enough to conduct electricity.
It is
And-
conductive.
And we took a look at the actual conductivities and resistivities of granite as compared to metals.
Yeah.
And back then you said that, as you just repeated, that granite would be conductive. Now that iron, the value that you get for the molten iron here in this
Hang on.
paper.
Are you taking issue with the conductivity of granite? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, as I said back then, it's not conductive.
But it is
enough-
conductive.
Let me speak, please. It's not conductive enough to conduct electricity in the way as you think it is. And now the value for iron, for the molten iron that we get, is a few orders of magnitude higher than what you thought back then. You back then agreed that you can get the conductivity from knowing resistivity and the other way around because they're interchangeable.
It's irrelevant to what
No,
we're
it's not.
talking about
It's
iron.
not. I just want to say that you're massively contradicting yourself again.
Can
Okay,
everyone hear
fine.
Gio?
Fine.
What?
Fine. I'm massively contradicting myself. You can have the pyramids argument. Right now, we're talking about iron, and we're talking about the temperature rising and whether it's conductive or resistive. And Paul
But why does
asserted
that
that it was
matter,
conductive. But we've just demonstrated with an empirically scientific document that as the temperature rises, it becomes more resistive, not conductive. So that means
Yes,
the dynamo,
correct.
The point,
dynamo theory
Anthony.
has got no credibility. That's what it means.
Anthony, can you listen, please? If you have a look at the resistivity, you can see that the resistivity here is in micro-ohms. The resistivity is extremely small, which means that the conductivity, which is the inverse of resistivity, is very high.
No, it doesn't say that though, does it? Where's the
Yes,
conductivity?
it does.
That's how
Checking
the
out.
relationship
Anthony.
works, Anthony.
Anthony,
Where-
the conductivity is 1 divided by the resistivity. That's how this
Where
is
is the
calculated into each
conductivity,
other.
Paul? Where is it?
All you have to do is divide one one by the resistivity to get the conductivity.
Where is the conductivity? Demonstrate the conductivity in this experiment.
It's
So
there,
it's
the relationship
calculated.
between conductivity and
Right there in
resistivity.
front of you.
Demonstrate it. Show it.
What's up there?
1 divided by 1.71 times 1 million.
Oh,
Right,
it's
all right.
There,
super.
the conductivity
Let me ask it in a different way.
1.71 million.
Let me ask it in a different way. Why is the
FE.
conductivity not being talked about?
Because it's the
It
same
is.
thing. They're giving
It
the same
is.
value.
No, it
It's
isn't.
not
It's the same
giving
thing, and
So what you're saying is, when we're focusing on the resistivity, it's missing the whole bigger picture of conductivity, yet doesn't mention it once.
no,
No, it's
resistivity
implying
and conductivity are related.
What? The direct
You can get the conductivity
No, you're
from the
talking BS.
resistivity.
resistivity and conductivity are directly related. You said it yourself before.
Yes,
Yes.
they are.
Right. So if you're saying that we're talking about the microscopic amount of resistivity, where's the rest of the context that talks about the conductivity? Because that's what we're talking about. It's not being talked about.
Conductivity is obtained by taking the resistivity. 1 divided by the resistivity is the conductivity.
But it doesn't say that in here, does it?
You can
Where
find
is
on
it talking about the
Wikipedia.
conductivity?
That's
It's
a-
talking
Oh my
about
God.
Anthony,
Right.
please take a look
That's
at my
how
screen
resistivity-
sharing.
Can
right. Do we all agree that
Yep.
Can I share
Oh.
my screen? Can I share my
Yes,
screen?
I will. I'll stop sharing mine. Okay.
I'll stop sharing mine. I think I've served a purpose here.
Okay.
I'll share.
Can you
mine.
see
Righto.
my screen now? Can you see my screen now? Guys, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Hang on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
got it?
I can. Yes.
So here in the middle of the screen, it states, this is Wikipedia, but it's the quickest thing to get to. Conductivity is defined as the inverse of resistivity.
yeah, I agree.
So that relationship exists. So in order to get from the figures they have there for resistivity, all you have to do is plug the numbers into this equation and you will get the conductivity.
Right.
Okay. The
Where is the
resistivity is being measured there in micro ohms.
Where is the
Therefore,
conductivity being talked
resistivity-
about in that document?
Every time they mention resistivity, they are, if by virtue of this equation, they are also referring to conductivity.
All right. I'll concede for the sake of discussion. Let's move it to the next step. Now show where, if you're saying that it's able to carry a charge, show me where the charge comes from.
No,
Show
not
That was
the
not
next
your
step.
claim. And Anthony, you're moving the goalpost.
No,
The
I've
beginning
just
of this
conceded.
discussion.
No, I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm conceding that point. I'm not happy with it, but I'll concede it. But show me how it generates its own charge, because that's what dynamo theory is. How does it do it? Because iron does not do it.
First of all, yes, you did move
No,
the
that's your
goalpost.
research.
In the beginning, Anthony. In the beginning, Anthony. Please give me a minute, okay? Hey, please give me
Oh,
a
I'm
minute.
sorry. I thought I was muted.
And
Sorry, guys, I need to go now.
Interrupt you, man.
Have fun.
Anthony, in the beginning, you challenged
Constantly
the rest of
loud.
the panel to find a paper that shows the resistivity or the conductivity of metal of molten iron at the given temperatures that you that you demanded.
Yes,
now
that's
this
right.
is yes. Now this has been done, and as soon as it was shown to you, you changed your demands. You know,
No,
so
I'm not
now
changing.
going
I'm
back to the
taking it to the
Dynamo
next
thing.
step. I'm taking it to the next step
Guys,
in the argument.
I know this is
because
a bit
the next
unrelated,
step
but
is, where does the charge come from? Is the charge self-perpetual, or is it externally applied? Now, my position is,
Henself won the Nobel
induced.
Prize in 1970 for the
Listen.
Magnetohydrodynamics, right?
Listen,
And that's the study of magnetic waves inducing currents in plasma. Well, now we know that the solar system is full of plasma, and we know that the Earth has magnetic fields. We also know the Earth is moving, so we therefore it would follow that it's inducing an electric current, and that electric current could somehow, the movement of the Earth could somehow be also electrifying the current through atmosphere and all other aspects. you know, all
Nathan?
the way into these Christian Birkeland modeled the Birkeland currents
Nathan,
to
Could you
explain.
present my screen, please? And Grim, just let me speak for a minute because I'll put
Yeah,
this
you
back
just
into
interrupt
context and I'll
anybody you
show that
want
I'm
to.
not moving the
Man, I'm
goalposts.
out of here. I'm tired of being treated like that.
Can the German guy say butterfly for
In
me?
German or in English?
In German, of course.
Schmetterling. What's so funny about that?
Sounds so pretty and floaty and like it's not going to kill you or nothing.
Right, guys, let's get back on topic for a minute. Nate, could you share my screen? Now, let's put this back into context, Alex, just to disperse the idea that I've moved the goalposts, because the whole point that we're talking about is molten iron. When it meets the Curie temperature, by your own definition, it loses its magnetism, okay? We all agree that, yeah?
Yes, it is
What it
no longer
loses is its ability
ferromagnetic.
to,
Wait,
it
guys,
loses its ability to retain magnetism.
right?
It
Yeah,
doesn't lose its
the
magnetic
movement-
properties.
what
It
movement
just
can
loses
still cause
the ability to be
magnetism.
permanently magnetized.
And what does the
Thank
next sentence say? To be replaced by induced magnetism, okay? So when we click induced magnetism, it tells us
Yeah.
that the net magnetization results from the response of a material, in this case iron, to an external magnetic field. Now that puts you into a quandary because you've got to now show that either
Doesn't.
iron can create its own magnetic field, in
No.
which case I would argue that it's an internal field, or that it's receiving an external magnetic field from somewhere. But
Well,
either way,
electric
you're damned.
current. You're not understanding what you're looking at there. It's an
No.
external electric current
you were
that
out.
creates a magnetic field
Grimv, you said you were out.
because the
Shush.
current is the cause of the magnetic field.
Grimv, shush. I'm asking Paul.
Don't shush me, man. You get backslapped
And,
across.
and yeah, well, ask me, Anthony. Anthony, have you heard of a concept known as a self-exciting dynamo?
Yeah, and I'm asking for that evidence on iron.
That's
asking
yeah,
for-
well, that's what it is.
Right,
A
prove-
self-exciting dynamo can be created out of anything that's conductive.
And I've just conceded.
We've already
that-
established.
Dude,
We've already
listen,
established that iron can be conductive
right.
under those conditions.
So
This is
I'm
how
happy
we
to-
generate power in power stations, Anthony.
Stop.
We
Stop,
use-
Paul.
we use-
Stop.
No,
Stop.
I will not stop. I will explain
Stop.
what I'm wanting to say.
No, stop, Paul. This is the
I will
Christian-
explain what I'm wanting to say without you
Yeah,
interrupting
let
me.
Paul finish. I'm tired of you interrupting everyone
I
on
want
the
to get back
panel.
on topic. Be
No,
concise.
somebody
Paul.
needs to put you in check,
No,
dude.
I am
Because
not.
that's all you do
Let
is
me
interrupt
explain.
everybody.
Be concise, Paul.
Okay,
I want to talk about light,
in
gravity.
in a make for give it a rest. Right in a
Not bad.
power station, we use self-exciting dynamos to generate our electricity. We run electricity through a coil of copper that generates a magnetic field, and once that's done, we then spin another coil of copper in that magnetic field, and it generates electricity. Now, what happens is we use some of the electricity that's been generated to feed back into the original coil to generate the magnetic field. It's a self-exciting dynamo. We
Agreed.
don't need any external magnetic field to keep that system going. It generates its
Paul?
own magnetic field and it generates its own electricity. The
Not
same
relevant to this
thing
point,
can
Paul.
happen. It
Not
is
relevant to this.
relevant because this.
Paul,
It is
listen.
relevant because this. Stop interrupting me. It's relevant because the same effect can happen in the Earth's core. The movement of the molten iron constitutes an electric current because iron contains free delocalized electrons.
Let me ask you a question about your
That generates a magnetic field, which then also generates more current.
Let me ask you a
It's a
question based.
self-exciting dynamo.
Is it though, or is
It
it a
works on the
mechanical-
same principles.
Is it, Paul, or is it a mechanical conversion from outside of the circuit?
It's the heat in the Earth's core causing the convection
No,
currents
in your
that drives. That's
example
the
that you
energy
just gave.
input to the system.
Oh, okay.
Paul,
I'm
in
gonna,
your
I'm gonna
example,
jump right
just
in
give-
for a second.
You said it was a
I'm
self-exciting
gonna ask
dynamo.
you to take a look at my screen, and I'm gonna teach you.
So we have a little under 15 minutes left on this live broadcast. I hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you are new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And most importantly, if you would like to join the debate to express your views on the shape of the Earth, simply click on the link below this video. Be sure to mute the page you are currently watching before you do so. If you've not done so already, also share the show. It is my pleasure to have such a massive crowd of people that share these shows as they go out live, because it does increase the live audience, of course, and that in turn increases the diversity of the people on the panel. So please share the show if you've not done so already. And one last time, if you have not subscribed, click that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Excuse me now. Magnetohydrodynamics is the study of magnetic properties of electrically conductive fluids. Examples of such magnetofluids include plasmas, liquid metals, salt water, and electrolytes. The word magnetohydrodynamics is derived from magneto, meaning magnetic field, hydro, meaning water, and dynamics, meaning movement. The field of MHD was initiated by Hannes Alfvén, for which he received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1970. The fundamental concept behind MHD is that the magnetic fields can induce currents in a moving conductive fluid, which in turn polarizes the fluid and reciprocally changes the magnetic field itself. Self-perpetuation, guy. All right. The set of the equations that describe MHD are a combination of the Navier-Stokes equations of fluid dynamics and Maxwell's equations of electromagnetism. This has all been proven. So you don't have to act like you're in the middle of some new mystery, dude, all day long, and no one can help you, and you're the only one who knows what's going on, because you're absolutely incorrect. And there it is. Argument over. Drops mic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
I'm a real boy.
Got about 10 minutes
Right,
left on this broadcast, guys. Maybe a little bit more. A little over 10 minutes left.
Paul.
And I hope that answers all those questions. And it might be, yeah, it might be helpful. You guys actually take me a little bit serious, because I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this solar electric earth circuitry stuff. It's not as kooky as you might think. Because I would have thought it too about 10 years ago when I first heard of it.
Paul, can I go back to you now, please?
Why would you need to? You're done. You just got toasted.
Yeah.
Grim,
it's just been shown.
I know, you just got toasted like an onion bagel, dude.
Right. You said that the
we've shown
want some sour cream,
Anthony, we've shown you that metals are conductive under those temperatures and pressures.
Yeah,
and you've just been shown the theory. You've just been shown the theory that how magnetohydrodynamics generates a magnetic field.
Right, listen.
We've shown you everything that we need to
just answer me this. I've got two questions for you. You said that it was a self-exciting dynamo in the example that you used. I put it to you that that's exactly
what you were just shown.
Wait. Well, I was on the phone, but I put it to you, Paul, that that's a mechanical conversion from outside of the circuit. Do you agree or not?
You were just shown
on the phone. Oh my.
Paul, I wasn't listening. I was on the phone doing something. So I'm back to you now, because I wasn't really going to listen to Grim anyway. I want to talk to you, and I want to ask you.
Well, he provided you with evidence. He provided you with the evidence. I'm sorry, but if you weren't there listening, that's not my problem.
Right. So you're asking me to trust something that I didn't see or hear, okay? That's fine. But I'm still going to ask you 2 questions. I'm still going to ask my 2 questions. You said that your example was a self-exciting dynamo. I disagree, and I'm asking you, is it more accurate to describe it as a mechanical conversion from outside of the circuit? And if you don't want to answer that, let's move to the next question, which is, on the net magnetization, right? The response of a material to an external magnetic field. Where is the external magnetic field in your model?
You were just shown the theory.
Yeah.
You were just shown the theory.
So we expect
you were just shown the knowledge.
So you're expecting me to accept a theory when I'm asking for specific evidence?
Oh, there's nothing else I can do for you except bring you over to my house and hook you up to my electrodes, right?
Can you just
Where's the external field?
What can I do for you other than that, dude?
Where is the external field?
Can you all stop screen sharing? It's giving everyone epilepsy. Please stop screen sharing.
Am I swearing?
No, screen sharing. You're giving the audience epilepsy.
Who, me?
all of you, you're flashing back and forth with big, massive white flashes of text. If you're not screen sharing, can you just stop screen sharing, please?
Paul,
That's hilarious.
your model requires an external source, and I put it to you that it's being fed electronically
that's your
from the
assertion.
outside.
That is your assertion. That is
Right,
not
but
true.
where's the external force otherwise?
That is your assertion. That is not true. It does not need it.
It does. It says it in black
Go
and
and
white. Let's go back to what it says. 'Cause
Go and read. Go and
Anthony.
read the article on magnetohydrodynamics.
Net magnetization results from the response of a material to an
That's
external
not it.
magnetic field. Where is the magnetic field? The external magnetic field.
Oh my
Again,
God.
why don't you read the magnetohydrodynamics? And now that you know that plasma permeates the electric field, I mean the solar system, because we have evidence of that. It's been proven.
Okay, so this is the link that you've just given, right? So let's look at it. It's the study of the magnetic properties of electrically conducting fluids. Examples of such magnetofluids include plasmas, liquid metals, right? So what specifically iron was what we're looking at, because that's what you claim it is. The word
Yeah, but no,
magneto.
I'm also giving you another avenue of thought that there's electrically externally fueled from outside through the plasmas, and this magnetohydrodynamics waves. So that would be the sustaining the charge that you're wondering as a conundrum, where is it coming from? And I'm telling you, it's coming from outside in.
Yeah,
Just
but where
from the
though?
sun.
Where is it coming from? There needs to be a
Outside.
source. What's the
Right,
source?
no, that's your way of thinking. The source is plasma of the induction is the magnetic field moving through plasma.
Yeah, but what's sending it?
Magnetic
it
field
coming from?
because of the movement of the iron from the core. The
No,
core is
that would be
iron because
internal.
of the electric Z pinch of the electromagnetic field on the outside.
That would be internal. Where's the source coming from?
External to internal.
Yeah, from
And that's
where?
up to external again. That's how the hypertoroidal shape works.
Where
That's
from,
how-
Grim?
that's
What's
the-
giving the external source?
That's what I just said. Magnetohydrodynamics. I think if you understood it more, you'd stop asking the same dumb question over and over again.
Where from? Tell me where it's coming
There
from.
you go. Read it. Understand it.
It's not coming from anywhere, is
Understand
it,
what you're
Grim?
reading there.
It's not coming from anywhere, is it?
Where is it
Yeah,
coming
it
from?
is.
Sun? Where's it coming from,
Are
Grim?
you kidding? You didn't read, did you? Again, of course you didn't. That's not
What's
what you
the
do.
source for the external source that you admit and
Movement,
accept is
the
there?
movement through plasma
Right.
induces
where?
current.
The source. I'm not asking what's the
moving.
transition. I'm
We're
asking what's
already
behind it.
moving. We're freely moving in space. Nothing's going to stop us until something actually gets in our
So
way.
it's
And
space dust. Is that what your
Right.
position?
Bruce dust isn't stopping us. We're also electrically driven, and we're moving also through
Where
the current
coming from?
inducing more. I mean, through the plasma, inducing more current.
Where's
well.
it coming from?
And we're receiving the current from the sun, dude. What do you mean? Where's it coming from? The sun.
So it's magic.
The sun is
You know what
receiving
the power
current
of
from the
the sun is?
electric spiral arms of the galaxy.
Do you know what the
They're all
power of the sun is
connected,
to be
dude.
able to charge the
Yeah.
core of the Earth? Grim?
You're asking questions over my answers, and I
Yeah,
think
because
it's
you're
cute
talking
and
rubbish.
everything, but I
What's
can't hear
power
you.
from the sun.
It's a sneaky tactic because I cannot hear your questions when you do
No,
that.
it's not a sneaky tactic. I'm being very clear. and
How can
concise.
I hear your questions when you're doing that?
Power from the
It
sun.
is because how can I hear your questions when you're doing that?
Maybe
when
shut
I'm
up.
answering another question and you
How
ask
powerful
me in
is the sun?
the middle of another answer, I can tell you don't get it because I'm not even done answering it yet. And then you ask me another question, over talking me while I'm answering you. Then you're being disrespectful, disingenuous. You don't really care to listen to this conversation anyway. And you're not
Perhaps
internalizing,
your
you're not
answer will
hearing
come from
anything I'm
doing it.
saying. I feel sorry for you, actually.
How
'Cause
much
you've been
power?
like beat
does the
up a
sun give
lot
us?
out here, dude. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my morning. Nathan,
Well, go
I
on, let's
appreciate
go
it.
and enjoy it.
It
Go
was
and
fun
enjoy it
debunking,
in your space.
debunking this guy again and again and again.
Go and
But,
enjoy it in your space dust.
Oh no, yeah, sure, okay. Well, I'll enjoy the hell out of my space dust.
So, whilst
like
Grim's
a
stepping out,
child.
Paul, maybe you could tell us.
No, I didn't sucker out, dude. I beat you.
No,
I
said
smacked you
stepping
all
out.
around. Yeah, you're done. You're all beat up.
Grim,
It's like,
shush.
how long do I want to keep
Anthony-
bullying you? Is the point, dude?
Anthony, we've met all your challenges.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
I'm
We've
asking you to
shown that
identify
iron
the
can be
source.
conductive. We have. We've shown you that iron can be
I'm not
conductive
lying,
under
dude.
those temperatures.
Don't call me a liar.
And we've also
You're a
shown
liar.
you a mechanism by which it can be a self-exciting donor. We've shown you. The theory. We've shown you we've shown you the mechanism by which it works. You're refusing to understand it. Doesn't mean that we haven't explained it to you.
No, I'm not refusing to understand it. I'm asking you specifically to identify what's providing the power. You said
that
it was
is you demonstrating that you don't understand it.
No, I'm just quoting you back, Paul. You said your words were internally self-exciting, but I'm asking you, it states clearly it has to be external.
It's the heat generated by the core that causes the convection currents. That is the driving force.
What powers the core?
Radioactive decay provides the energy.
That provides some of it. That's not the cause. What heats the core?
It provides the majority of it.
What heats the core, Paul?
I told you radioactive decay, and you're refusing to accept it.
No, I accept that, but that's a little tiny bit of it.
Well, then move on.
No. You're arguing that the resistivity was the key point there, and it was microscopic. You're doing the same again.
We've been through this.
You're making a microscopic point to win your point, and that's disingenuous.
We've shown you that it's conductive. We've shown you a mechanism by which it works. We've shown you where that gets the energy from to drive the dynamo.
No, you haven't.
Move on.
You've missed. Where does the energy come to drive the dynamo?
I told you radioactive decay.
Right, that's a tiny part of it, Paul, and it's almost negligible.
Not a tiny part of it. It's not a tiny part of it.
What heats
radioactive
the core, Paul?
decay.
Right, if you honestly believe that I'm going to accept that, then we're at the point where you're believing like space dust causes everything, because that's a minuscule point.
Argument from incredulity.
And secondly, Paul, radioactive decay is still internal. What's the external force? You haven't identified an
external. The driving force.
And white. Net magnetization results from the response of the ion to an external magnetic field. Where is the source?
We've got 1 minute to go, and we've been joined by a last-minute guest. So, Mr. Flat Curve, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Do we need a definition of internal?
Can we just say a quick hello to our last guest who's got 60 seconds just to say an intro? How you doing, Mr. Flat Curve?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi.
How you
doing?
External, Paul. Where does it come from? What you're talking about is consequential. What I'm asking for is the cause.
The cause is the energy for the self-exciting dynamo of the Earth's magnetism comes from the convection currents in the liquid part,
which is internal.
That is driven by the radioactivity,
which is internal.
That's what drives. That's what it doesn't have to be external. That's what drives the dynamo.
No, what drives the dynamo, Paul? The dynamo itself is internal.
What drives the dynamo?
Yeah,
that's right.
The dynamo is internal.
You need to go and read
what drives it.
Magnetohydrodynamics, Anthony.
Paul,
you don't understand.
He's trolling.
Go and educate yourself on magnetohydrodynamics, Anthony. Anthony, go and
you're cornered and you can't answer it. You're cornered and you cannot answer it. What's the external force, Paul?
I'm sorry, but you're refusing to understand it is not my problem.
Heard that.
Yeah, Grim, don't mute him. I know he muted you, but two wrongs don't make a right. Please don't mute people. Anyway,
oh, now I knew that. I knew that's what the crap this was. Now you say something because I've muted him back after he's muted me. How many times?
I told him I jumped down his throat.
Shallow, dude.
I jumped down his throat, Grim. I gave him a hard time.
Keep on ignoring the fact that he's already defeated.
External about your model.
Are you being fair and reasonable in this discussion? How about you, Nathan? What do you think?
I think you shouldn't mute each other. And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the live audience for joining us on this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the panel with all the talk of hydrodynamic waves. It's been a big one, so thank you very much. And of course, massive thanks to all the people who shared this stream. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.